Okay, so this time we are going to talk about describing arrays. Last time we spoke about how we can add equal groups as well as how we can describe equal groups. So that's when it was like two bags of four, which equals eight. So this time we're going to talk about arrays. Think about where are some places that you might see things arranged in rows. So where are some places where you might see things that are arranged in rows? And so these are rows right here, the way that you see my mouse moving from left to right. These are called rows. So, like one place that I might see it is maybe if I go to the movies or sometimes when we go on field trips. Okay, we are arranged in rows. Maybe if I go to the grocery store, where the vegetables and the meat are, those are also in rows. So there's a lot of things that might be in rows. So an arrangement in rows with the same number in each row is called an array. And the most important part right there is with the same number. That means it has to be equal in every row. And if it's the same number in every row, then it's called an array. So we're going to look at this array of bugs right here. How many rows of bugs are there? And remember, rows are going to go left to right. They're going to go horizontally, left to right. So how many rows do you see right here? I see one, two, three. How many bugs are in each row? So it didn't ask how many total or all together. It just wants to know how many is there in each row. So let's count. One, two, three, four. And I don't even have to count the rest of these rows because it looks like it's an even number in every row. So what is a number story that you could tell to match the array? You could say that the bugs are marching in three rows and there are four bugs in each row. Right here it says a row goes across and a column goes up and down. Now we are going to imagine another row of four bugs joins the bands. How many rows will there be? How many bugs will be in each row? How many bugs will there be in total? And how do you know? So if I looked at this picture right here, it says imagine another row of four bugs. So we already have three rows, but imagine a whole nother row just came right here. Boop, 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 boop. So then now how many rows will there be? Well, we have our one, two, three, and don't forget our imaginary row right here, so that's four. How many bugs will be in each row? Well, it'll still be four bugs in each row because remember this is an array, so that means every row is going to have the same number. How many bugs will there be in total? Well, for me, I think I'm just going to count by fours. So it's going to be 4, 8, 12, and then our imaginary row, which would be 16. If we don't know how to count by fours, though, we can do what? We can just add. So we can say 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus our 4 right here. So let's look at this first question right here. It wants us to write numbers to describe each array and draw a line through each row to help us. Okay, so once again, if you do not have your book, then you can just kind of use your mouse or use your fingers and count like this. And then you can just write it on a piece of paper like I showed you in the first video. So we'll do the first one together. So first it wants to know how many rows. And remember, rows go left to right and columns go up and down. So first it says blank rows right down here. It's not letting me. Right here it says blank rows with. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay, so right here for rows, I would say there's 1, 2, 3. So I would write a 3 right there where it says rows. Then it wants to know with blank in each row. I am so sorry. I don't know why it keeps doing that. So it wants to know how many is in each row. So then I can just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have to count the other rows because It's obviously equal. So right here, I would write a 5. So it would say 3 rows with 5 in each row. So go ahead and try B by yourself. All right. We're going to go ahead and look at the next page. This page you are going to do by yourself, so I'm going to give you a few minutes to do this by yourself. If you have your Orgo book, it is on page 170 and 171. If you don't have your Orgo book, you can just write it on a sheet of paper. So you guys go ahead and do A, B, C, and D, and I will do it too, and then we will share our answers. All right, if you are not done, then you can go ahead and pause the video and finish. If you are done, then we will move on. Go ahead and see if you can work these out by yourself too. Give you a couple of seconds to see if we can work this out. So A, it wants you to draw an array to match each story, then draw a check beside the array that has more apples. So A says the apples are put in rows of 5. Rows are going to go left to right. So they're put in rows of 5. That means that's how many is going to be in a row. And there are 3 rows. So you can just draw circles. You don't have to draw an actual apple. So you need to see how many rows you're going to draw. So that means how many lines are you going to draw. And then how many are you going to put in each line. And you can pause the video if you want to work that one out. I'm going to go ahead and read B. B says the apples are put in rows of 4. There are 4 rows. So once again, you need to figure out how many rows. That means how many things are we going to go left to right. And then how many are in each row. Once you've drawn both of your pictures, you're going to put a check mark next to the picture that has more apples altogether. So here are the answers that I got for each page. For A, I got 3 rows with 5 in each row for the bees. And for the ladybugs, I got 3 rows with 2 in each row. And then on this side, here are my answers. So for the butterflies, I got 2 rows, 4 in each row. For the green, for those grasshoppers, I got 3 rows, 3 in each row. For the worms, I got 4 rows, 2 in each row. For the bees, I got 2 rows, 5 in each row. And then down here, I drew my arrays. So for A, it says the apples are in rows of 5. There are 3 rows. So I drew 3 rows. That's what goes left to right. then for this one, it says the apples are put in rows of 4 and there are 4 rows. So I did that for that one right there. And I put a check mark next to this one because this one has 16 apples altogether. This one only had 15. And I wanted us to put a check beside the one that had more. We are almost done. This is our last page and then we are going to be all done. So right here we're going to learn how to add equal rows. So if we look at these bugs right here, it wants to know what is this type of arrangement called. We were saying it, we just learned it. It starts with an A. Remember, if all the rows have an equal amount, then it is called an array. I hope that's what you said. So it wants to know how many rows are there. Remember, rows go left to right, so let's count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. It wants to know how many bugs are in each row. So it doesn't ask how many are all together. It wants to know how many is in each row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How could you tell the total number of bugs? Remember, we're not trying to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, we're almost third graders, so we don't have to count like that anymore. One way that we could do it is we can add. We can say 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Or if you know how to count by fives, you can say 5, 10, 15, 20. He wrote it out down here. So there are 4 rows with 5 bugs in each row. That is 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, which equals 20. Loop each row of bugs and write the missing number. So right here it wants to know how many rows. Left to right, there's 1, 2, 3. There's a 3 right there. How many ladybugs in each row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ladybugs in each row. Now I can take this number right here, and that's the number that I'm going to write down here each time because it wants us to write a problem. So you have to say how many is in each row. So there's 5 in this row, so I'll write a 5 plus 5 plus 5. And that equals 15. Or you could say 5, 10, 15. Go ahead and see if you can do the other ones by yourself, and then we will check each other's answers. Okay. If you are not done, you can pause the video and finish. If you are done, we are going to move it right along to the very last page, and then we will be done. This page right here, it wants us to write a number story. So a number story would be like at the very beginning when the little raccoon said there are 4 rows with 5 bugs in each row. So you always want to start off with how many rows there are. That means how many is going left to right. And then you want to tell how many is in each row. So for example, for this one, we can count the rows. So there's 2 rows. So I can say there are 2 rows. And now we have to figure out how much in each row. So how many in each row? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can say there are 2 rows with 5 bugs in each row. Or you can say there are 2 rows with 5 spiders in each row. You can write it however you'd like to. But you have to actually write those words out. So go ahead and write your sentences for the rest of these. Okay, and work this one too. This one wants you to draw an array of worms that has 5 rows. Then write a number story and addition sentence to match. Are my answers for the first page. So right here we have 2 rows, 4 ladybugs in each row, so that would be 4 plus 4, which equals 8. This is 3 rows with 2 ladybugs in each row, so 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 6. And 3 rows with 4 ladybugs in each row, so that's 4, 8, 12. Here are my answers for this last page. So there are 5 bugs, or sorry, there are 2 rows with 5 bugs in each row. There are 3 rows with 4 bees in each row. There are 4 rows with 2 worms in each row. And there is 1 row with 5 frogs in each row. And then down here, these are my little wormies. Aren't they so cute? So, it said to draw an array of worms that has 5 rows. It didn't say how many could be in each row, so you could put as many as you wanted. I didn't feel like drawing a whole bunch, so I only did 3 in each row. So my sentence is that there are 5 rows with 3 worms in each row. And then remember, for your addition sentence, you just have to add how many is in each row. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, which equals 15. All right, everybody, we are done with our math for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for participating. Please let me know if you had any questions. You can watch this video as many times as you need to. Remember, there is no school on Friday or Monday, so there won't be any new assignments there from me. Also, make sure that you log into your Pathblazers because there's going to be more practice for what we did today. What you did do today, what you wrote down, is not going to be a grade, so you don't have to turn anything in to me. I will take your grades from what you turn in on Pathblazers, so do your best, and I'll be putting out a quiz on Pathblazers tomorrow for you guys to take as well, okay? So good luck, and I will see y'all later. Bye.